to episode 501 of Aussie Tech Heads. It's Glenn Goodman here once again. Got a little panel of people tonight. This week we're going to talk to you about, I think we're going to have a bit of Apple porn, eh? There's,
Not really.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see the comments. What's happened. Apple has released or have had their keynote this week on Tuesday or Thursday morning our time, and we'll see what's been discussed. It is episode 501. It's the 8th of September 2016, and we are brought to you by athwebhosting.com.au for all your hosting needs. Not some, all, okay? Good stuff.
All of them.
All of them. Whatever you can think of. You can hear us again on the Aussie Tech Radio. Get the TuneIn app on your mobile device or your desktop. TuneIn Radio, search for Aussie Tech Radio. Wall-to-wall, 24/7 podcast. Yay. All right, you can get us on the Twitter at Aussie Tech Ads and at Aussie Tech News. And, don't forget the Aussie Mac Zone. They're going to have a lot of stuff this coming week on the Apple event, the Apple keynote, I feel sure. And also the Aussie Tech Security, Alpha Geeks, Obsidian Loft, all part of the Aussie Tech Heads Network, so keep your eye out for those. And we'll say good day to Will, because I think he's moving, so hopefully we might get a Old Fart Geeks pretty soon, but let's go to Will. Hey, Will.
Hey, mate, how are you?
How you going? Good, thanks. So are we going to get a Aussie Old Fart Geeks when you move? Maybe.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a bit of a, interesting story about the internet to where I'm going.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I haven't told you guys this, actually.
This is going to be a marathon, so let's just say good day to Eric first. Hi, Eric.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, sir.
We've missed you the last couple of
All
weeks.
good. I've been very busy, mate.
Yeah, studying up hard and doing tax returns.
Got my first result back, and I'm pretty happy with it.
Oh, good stuff. Good work. All right, so Will, tell us, what is the story?
Yeah, so we're moving, and obviously there's a few criteria for where we're moving to. One was, a nice big yard for Cam to play in and have fun, and one was a big shed because I've got a lot of crap, and then enough room to have, a computer and stuff inside, plus the room. So there's a few criteria. And then, of course, there was the internet. Now, it wasn't a huge deal as long as I could get, sort of decent internet. Turns out where we're moving, it's great. I can get the NBN.
Nice.
Sweet, no worries.
Nice.
Problem is that it's the hybrid, the VDSL or whatever it's called. So it's fiber to the node, but it's copper to the house, which means that's not a problem. The speeds are still relatively decent.
Yeah.
The problem is this house, apparently, according to the NBN, doesn't have a phone line installed.
Right.
Which,
So
given...
if you had a phone line installed, you could get it.
Well, yeah.
So...
the problem is that there is actually a phone line there. But they have no record of it because the phone line hasn't actually been used. The real estate, I asked them, I said, hey, have you got a contact number or something so I can give it to them and speed this process up?
Yeah.
And she went back through her files, and the last contact number they have on a landline at that property is 2004.
Nice. What do people do out there?
Who was living there? A couple of people hiding from the law?
I don't know. So, looking at the phone socket, it wouldn't surprise me because it's one of the actual 4-pin connector plug things, not the RJ connector. It's
the old one.
The actual, So 2004, and of course, obviously the exchange, the lines in the street potentially have been redeployed to other places. So,
so doesn't the NBN do away with all that? Like, do you still have to have a copper line?
Well, because
phone line?
This is the VDSL, which is the copper. It's fiber to the node. It's copper to the house. So, so it needs to have, a copper line to the house.
Good thing is, if you have it laid, a new one laid, it'll be brand new copper.
It'll also be $850
but who's going to pay it?
just for the service, $285 per meter, and $110 an hour.
Hang on, $285 per meter from the node. So if the node is a kilometre away, you've had it.
Yeah.
So this is Will's last show.
All right, good luck with that, and I'll see you in with the Unabomber up in the mountains of Arkansas or wherever the hell he was.
So I mean, I asked one of the neighbours there, I said, hey, what internet have you got? And they said, oh, we got the NBN. So it is next door.
It is possible. Look, Telstra would say, look, they've got it next door. They're number 23. I'm number 25. Can you look at your records, please? Surely they'd be able to come up with something.
As I said, the last recorded number there is 2004 or 2005. So over 10 years.
If you said to Telstra you want the phone on, isn't it like by law or it's their obligation to get you the phone to the first point in the house? That's their obligation.
Which is not. So that's not the problem. The problem is once the line becomes active, it can then take up to 3 months for it to show up on the NBN database and it can't. The installation can't progress until it shows up on the NBN database.
Okay, who feeds the information? Who feeds the information to the NBN? That'd be Telstra.
The telcos. In this case, it'd be Telstra. Yeah.
In this case, Telstra. Yeah. But you would think that in this day and age of, let's call it, I don't know, the internet, that information transferred to the NBN would be pretty instantaneous. Like when you port a mobile phone number, within 5 minutes, you've ported same number, different carrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
Because the data sharing is instantaneous. They have access to each other's database for certain things.
Yeah.
And so NBN, get your act together.
Well, this is the problem, and not only then. The thing is, the provider, in my case, Exetel, who I'm using for my provider, the problem then is they can't even initiate the process of the install until the NBN has a confirmation that the phone's there, and so it's going to can take up to 3 months. Up to 30 days for that to happen. So it can be a month after the actual phone line's connected before the NBN can pick it up, and then it's going to take up to. Apparently, the backlog at the moment is between 1 and 3 months for the actual NBN install, and then once it's installed to the premises, I then need to have an installer come out to install it inside the premises once the line's been hooked up to the outside. So it's going to take me like 6 months to get the internet on.
Just as well, you got that little 4G phone.
I don't understand that. They're moving at such a slow pace. What backlog?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I couldn't figure. That's because the three.
You're running at a bull's pace, and you can't fit everyone in because you're just doing, a bloody 3 streets a day, bang, 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 bang. Yeah, there's going to be a backlog because you're going so fast. But when you're running at a snail's pace, it's been nearly 10 years since this was announced. They've got a backlog of
They've only got probably 3 guys doing it.
I reckon if you go to the local pub, they're in there with their freaking backlogs.
Yeah, I reckon. But and so. The other problem is, okay, cool. Well, as a lot of you listeners know, I have, thanks to Telstra screwing up, unlimited internet on my phone. The problem is...
yes.
I'm not in a good enough signal area today. So I can only get 2G there. So...
Nice knowing you, Will. All right, moving on.
I did a speed test the other day, and it was like
21 or whatever, 25. You might want to explain the internet. Maybe show him some technology.
So I did a speed test the other day when I was there, and it was like 4 meg up and like 4 meg down and half a meg up or something.
Well,
3 on your. Oh, gee.
Let's continue the. I'm
going to have heaps of rants tonight. I got like 4 of them, so it's going to be a good night.
Good. Well, I'm going to continue the Telstra /NBN rant with an email from Lindsay. Hi, Glenn. You are not the only one having problems with last week. No, I think about 1 million people have problems every week with good old Telstra. I still got problems. They won't give me that free stand code for love or money. They're holding on to it. They are just holding on to it. The problem is that the email sent... So they had some downtime, apparently, by the sounds of this email that Lindsay sent me. The problem is the emails sent during the downtime are lost. So there you go. That's not very nice, is it? A big company like Telstra.
It's going nowhere.
Yeah, hang on.
You sound surprised by this.
I got a... that's the email he got. Sorry.
So I'm guessing this gentleman has a Telstra email address.
He does. Well, he must have. Yes, that's right.
There's a problem right there.
So
get off it.
Yeah.
Get a domain name. Call it telstrasucks.com.au. I don't care, whatever. And get off.
I think that's taken.
CEO's using it.
Well, that was my point. Like, and it's a common thing. I mean, a lot of if they're down, the emails get lost because they don't retry. And I know Telstra. I've sent emails to people, and the Telstra service have tried once to send a Big Pond email, and then they bounce it back saying undeliverable. You try and deliver to Gmail or to Yahoo or to most manually configured own hosts, they'll try to send it 3 times straight up, send you an undeliverable report, but they'll continue to try for the next 7 days.
Right. That's right.
So, you know...
Easy, just advice, get yourself a domain name, get it off Glenn, he'll sort you out. Yep. And then if Telstra's emails don't work, doesn't affect you.
No, or even just get a Gmail, get something else. But I've been going.
That's the other thing too. You can use Gmail, as we said. You can use Gmail as your launchpad, and you can have, if you want to have a business, say, you know, you can have fred@mybusiness.com.au, and it looks professional, but it can just forward to your Gmail account, and then when you set your Gmail account up, you can set it to forward to when you send an email, you can send it from fred@mybusiness.com.au. So you don't need to spend money on hosting and have data storage and that. You can use Gmail or Hotmail or, you know, AOL even, or any of the Yahoo, whatever. They all do the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's right.
But just get yourself the .com.
Yeah, exactly. Just get a domain name.
Outlook.com, mail.com.
But Outlook, I'll tell you a story. I've been going to a few people's houses, and they've been telling me...
At night time when we're asleep.
Were they there when you went there?
No. No, they've been telling me that Big Pond have moved off the Live platform. So they've moved everyone's emails off Live and moved them all back to like their some Big Pond cloud.
Yeah, they probably moved them back to the old legacy Big Pond mail server.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but people are telling...
They've got 4 million servers sitting in storage somewhere and went, we might as well use these.
They might as well.
Blow the dust off from 1998.
The hard drives are fine.
Well, look, let's...
look at the hard drives, a 1 gigabyte hard drive.
Let's get on to the only story in town, this week. The Apple iPhone. Or the Apple keynote.
I completely forgot that was even happening until Facebook reminded me at like lunchtime today.
All right.
Well, look,
I've got my thoughts. Keep my blood pressure down.
Let me just... I've got a little video. I don't know if I can play the video, but you'll probably be able to hear the audio. And, hang on, we'll get it up. Now, this is what they call... Why didn't that work? Go.
Because...
And stream it through.
Glenn doesn't know about technology.
This is the Johnny Ive porn. Listen to this. Now, this is the way he described...
We have created a product that is the most deliberate evolution of our original founding design.
Glenn broke the internet.
Glenn broke everything.
An aluminium body and formed sheet of glass describe a singular shape. One made
Hello,
few,
sorry,
precisely
welcome to the
engineered
live
parts.
Stream of
Arabs.
What, can't you guys hear
streaming
that?
live for your entertainment. No.
Diddly.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know why. But
Shut up and send it through from your end. Can you do
All
that?
I can do is hear feedback from myself now.
No, it's working. Well, just be quiet for a couple of seconds, so when it comes out on the podcast, everyone can hear the love that Johnny Ives has. Okay, I'll just let it play, and I'll come back in when it's finished.
Session remains to continuously simplify and improve. From sculpting the camera housing directly out of the aluminium body to embedding the antenna within the enclosure, essentially making it disappear. Each refinement serves to bring absolute unity and efficiency to the design.
Doesn't that just make you want to go out and buy one? Huh?
No, not
Probably. What?
All right. So, Eric, what happened at the keynote? Tim Cook, it started off with a bit of a comedy sketch, didn't it? And then goes into...
Look, I think he's trying very hard to be funny. It's not working.
It's not working.
Wasn't that funny?
No. What happened to the internet just then?
What did you do, Glenn?
What
happened there?
All the cameras and everything have gone off. Eric's gone.
Glenn broke the internet again. No, you screen shared.
Did I? Sorry about that. I'm back now.
Stop touching things.
I must have clicked the wrong button. Yeah, so start off with a sketch. Wasn't that funny? And so then it moved on to the keynote. So, first...
And they went on for an hour about a watch
Yeah.
that looks like a 1986 Casio calculator watch. An
Not
hour.
as good.
Yeah, it was an hour.
I didn't have to charge my Casio watch every night.
No, but they were saying, they said that that was the second highest selling watch in the world.
Well, I have a view about statistics. They lie. You can twist it any way you want.
Yeah, it was.
They probably got a graph.
It's the second highest selling watch that they sold.
Well, my take.
Of some figures in their highest periods, and there in that period it was the second high. So we'll say that. We'll say that.
Yeah, for that 7 hours.
Let me tell you something, and it's all rubbish. Apple refused to this date release exact figures of how many watches they're selling. Now,
Yes.
if they were the second highest selling watch, you'd think they'd think, what are we hiding? They release figures for Macs, iPhones, iPads, whatever else, iPods, all of them, but not the watch. Why? Because it's not selling.
No, that's why they spent an hour on it. That's
rubbish.
But look, the good thing about it is the new features of it was it's water resistant down to 50 meters or something, or swim proof, whatever they want to call it. That's probably the only thing really of interest I picked up about it. Other than that,
It's the only difference. They couldn't come out with another watch that wasn't waterproof.
No, that's
That'd
right.
be just suicide.
Yeah. Look, it's got a faster chip in it. You can get new leather bands for it. I don't know, not much else really.
So interesting.
So then
it still looks like a 1986 Casio watch. Give me one that looks like the Tag Heuer that we saw a few weeks ago.
Yes, I want that. If it wasn't like $1,000 or whatever it is, I'd buy that.
Yeah, my take on that second highest selling watch in the world or whatever is that I just reckon because they're so damn expensive, that's why it's got number 2. Because it's not that they're selling a lot, but they because of the premium price.
Rolexes are $25,000 a piece.
Was that number 1? Was it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I couldn't see it. I was on my phone.
Rolex you get, the cheapest in their cheapest line, and it's a rubbishy looking watch. The cheapest you'll get Rolex is about $6,000.
But anyway, more fun things. What did you that iPhone 7? It's 2 water and dust resistant. So, if you get pushed in the pool, you are able to hopefully get out with it.
Pods in my ear when I get pushed in the pool. Bet you they're not waterproof.
So, what are these Apple Pods, Eric? What else came with the iPhone 7 announcements?
Well, a lot of rubbish.
So,
and not interested in the fun rubbish.
So
It's rubbish.
So
the only difference is on the bigger one, the Plus, it's got 2 cameras.
Yep.
So it gives different effects. They say it'll give you the same experience as a DSLR, which is rubbish. A DSLR is a DSLR. There's no way an iPhone is ever going to compete with a proper DSLR. So that's fine. They can say that all they want.
It's got the second lens is like, this is only on the Plus model, the iPhone 7 Plus. The second lens is like a 2 times zoom, and then it'll 10 times with software. So, they took a picture of a guy in a building.
Like Nokia did in their, phone 4 years ago. That's groundbreaking.
Look,
that is.
It enables you to give that depth of field, right? The 2 cameras work in conjunction to give you depth of field. And that's fine. That's all. It'll be a nice gimmick for a little while.
Not even close. The DSLR, even the cheap bottom-end DSLR, has at least a half-inch CMOS sensor. The best you're going to get on a phone is a quarter, if not an eighth.
Even the cheapest DSLR at $800, and they're pretty good at $800, will do a depth of field that will crap all over the phone, right? But they're trying to say that this is as good as any DSLR on the market, which is rubbish, absolute rubbish. And then they had all these little, all these supposed photographers, and we wouldn't know whether photographers or not, or someone they made up in the back there. But this is now going to be an essential part of my photography kit. What a load of crap!
Because they're going to have it on them.
All their stuff. And go, yep. I'm just using this now.
That's it.
As if.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to iPhones now. Look,
because they're going to have it on them already.
Believe that Steve Jobs type. What do they used to call that? The Steve Jobs reality distortion field.
Yes.
But this time it's the Cookie Monster. If they believe that, they're more stupid than I realised. And I like Apple products, Glenn. I'm just completely objective about it.
Yeah,
Completely, that's rubbish.
Okay,
Other than that, well, iPhone 6, no different. Got five colours. It's a little bit. The screen's probably a little bit better. Obviously, the processor's going to be faster. Well, it should be, because every year that's the whole point, right? Why would I buy a 2015 Mercedes Benz if it was exactly the same as the 2012?
Well, that's
So
right.
you expect it to be better stuff, right?
You're not going to know because they don't release specs on their processors.
Well, that's the other thing. They don't really spec. They say it's the A10 specs and it's this fast. If you, okay, well, how fast is that? Well, I'm not telling you.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So,
that.
you know,
They do too.
Camera hasn't changed on the other phone. It's still 4K like the last one. Software's the same. So now you can order a cab from in the maps. Well, who cares? You just pick up the phone and ring the cab. How lazy are you?
Look, I think there's a lot of, as you watch the keynote, there's just so much about the camera. Like, I mean, it's a phone. Like, to me, yeah, I don't want to take pus photos, but I don't really care about the camera to the extent that these guys care about it. You know, like, yeah.
Why they were banging on the camera? Because they had nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, well, they were banging on.
Why?
So, look,
I'm just curious to know. They say it's got a... Okay, but... Even a box. Let's just talk about the flash with nothing else attached to it. Just the flash on a DSLR camera will light up a football field. Just that alone, without any of the other features like the macro lens. I'm actually running a macro lens on here that actually lets me take photos of. This one actually lets me take photos of
celebrities
text on microchips on motherboard so that I can read it. This goes down. I actually hold it about 3 mil above the chip.
Right.
So
yeah,
you know, but as I said, like even if we don't talk about the rest of the camera, if we just take the flash into the equation, that alone cannot be performed by a phone, regardless of the rest of the camera attached to it.
Yeah, obviously that must be taking good photos because they bang on about it.
They do take good photos, right? There's no doubt about that.
Between something taking a good photo and something taking a quality photo. Most cameras, just about every phone these days, is capable of taking a good photo.
And you still got to understand something. The best phone camera out there is still the Windows phone with the Carl Zeiss lens, right? And Apple cannot get hold of Carl Zeiss because they're locked up with Windows.
Right.
Well, they were Nokia, because all the Nokias.
Yeah.
Because I had the Nokia N95 that had a 5 megapixel camera with an optic zoom, and that thing took photos every bit as good as any of the cameras today. And that's a nearly 10-year-old, 8-year-old phone now.
Now the other.
Yeah, I had cameras as well.
Other features. Let's move on to other features. Look, I'll tell you the price while we're here. I've got it in front of me. The iPhone 7 is going to start at $1,079. It's so expensive, isn't it, for a camera?
iPhone 7, not the Plus, and that's a 32 gig. There's no way in hell I'm buying that.
Is that they're still running non-upgradable memory?
Yeah. We can't upgrade it.
That'd be right.
Yeah. So the iPhone 7 starting at $1,079 would have one zooming 12 megapixel camera. The Plus edition starting at $1,269. And what did you say, Eric? They start at 16 gig?
32.
Oh, at least that's something. The 6 started at 16.
32, and then they've got 64 for some reason. 32, 128, 256.
32?
And the black, that's 32, 128, 256. And the one that's the jet black or the piano black or the glossy black starts at 128. So that's going to cost you, $1,500.
And apparently, so talking about the colours, there's 2 new finishes. There's jet black and a matte black finish called black. The jet black finish will be offered exclusively that's what exclusively is, on 128 gig and 250 gig models of the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. So you won't be able to get the black in the Povo models. You'll only be able to.
Yeah, but
you have to languish in silver, gold.
I read something today. Can't remember where it was. This guy made 2 comments. He said, for a company that is known for its, imagination, if you like, right? I can't remember the exact words he used. The best they could do by describing a colour was calling it the colour that it is, black. That's the best they could do.
Well, so you know, I've just done a quick Google on space. So if you're recording a 4K video, which these phones are perfectly capable of doing, at 30 frames a second, which some of them can do 60 frames now. Every minute is 375 meg of space. So if you've got the 32 gig, assuming all 32 gig is completely empty and has nothing on it, you're going to get about 70 minutes of footage.
Yeah, you'd have to empty your phone every time you go out.
Now,
Pretty much.
What else have we got here?
And it actually only has 28 gigs once everything's loaded on it.
That's what I'm saying. So you're only really down to an hour tops.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Now,
And that's before you put your apps and everything on there, which is probably another 10
Another
gig
5.
these days. Yeah, so you're down to 16 gig, which is 40 minutes.
So basically, you're at a party. Happy birthday, that's it, fellas.
Yeah, sorry, the party's
Gone.
over. Let's go home.
now let's.
That's it, Fitty.
You can't even record a good... No, anyway, I'm not going there.
No. Well, look, I've got some other stats. I've got some other stats and stuff here, or add some other enhancements. But I just want bits before we get on to that. I just want ask Eric a question. Just could you try and just turn your mic down a bit, please?
Sure can.
'Cause that's,
Hello.
I'm not sure if it's. I'm not sure. That's either an internet peeking out somewhere.
Yeah, it's just
No,
tripping.
that's all
Skype's
right.
just tripping.
How's that? 1, 2, 3,
Yeah, that's
4.
better. That's better.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Whoa.
Um,
Whoa. Where's that coming
There's
from?
a video that you couldn't get to play last week.
That must. It's coming this week.
It took 7 days for it to load up.
It's coming this week. All right. Now, the headphone jack. Let's talk about the headphone jack. Now, Eric, you were for months telling us that it needed a headphone. Are you happy with the result of what's happened?
No, of course not. Look,
Okay.
I thought at the very least, if they're going to go lightning with the headphone connector, okay, have an adapter like a
Hang on a
double
sec.
adapter at the end, so you could charge it and listen to your music at the same time,
Yeah.
right? And there's been, if you go troll the internet, everyone is spewing about this,
Yeah.
about the fact that I can't charge and listen at the same time.
That is ridiculous.
Didn't
Because
have wireless charging.
Their notoriously bad battery life, even though they say this one's going to have the best battery life ever, which is rubbish.
Yeah.
With notoriously bad battery life, you come home and it's dead, and you think, oh, I just want to sit down and listen to the music. Oh, sorry, I can't. It's charging.
Yeah. That's the first
Right.
thing that came to my mind as I was watching the keynote. I'm thinking, well, can you charge this thing while you're listening to
Does it
stuff?
support wireless charging or...
Well, it does. We'll get onto that. Remember I said to you, Glenn, and I called this about 3 months ago, I said, I'll paraphrase, I don't know my exact words, I said something along the lines of, you watch, they're going to try to sell us some wireless headphones that's going to cost a squillion. And what have they done?
They're going to cost a squillion. They got the so let me explain.
$55.
How much?
Headphones, $155. Right? And they're not even very good.
No.
You know, it's this with some bits and pieces on it.
Yeah. So what's happened? So just to be clear, so everyone's clear, there's no headphone jack anymore. It's if you want to listen to headphones, it's got to go through the Lightning jack. They are
Charging. Oh,
that's right, where you
so
charge.
you can do either charging or you can't do both.
Yep. Now, if you've got a traditional headphone 3.5mm plug, they graciously will supply an adapter in the box for it.
Yes, but you still cannot listen and charge at the same time. I
No.
thought the adapter was going to be, hey, look,
Like
an
a
adapter.
double.
I'll plug my headphone into this side,
Yes.
and I'll plug the charger
Charge.
into this side.
Yes.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yes.
And if they included that in the box, they would sell double the amount they're going to sell.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to buy this.
This is
No one,
yeah, for me, this is a massive
it's a
cross.
deal breaker.
Yeah.
It's a massive deal breaker.
Yeah. Because
And another same guy that I talked about, he was criticising their lack of imagination when I called him black. He said, "Has anyone thought at Apple? Number one, it's this substance over form. It's all about design and this and that. What about the functionality of it? These things. How many of these are you going to lose? Jogging with them in your ear. How many of those are you going to lose?
Yeah.
Or
So-
just walk the street. You don't have to be jogging. You could be sitting in bed, right, or sitting on the couch, and they'll pop out. And you won't, and you think, oh, where did that go?
So
Right? That's the first thing. Secondly, hello, choking hazard for children.
yeah, true. So what?
Are they out of their minds or what?
So these little AirPods, what Eric's talking about, so that these are these wireless. So I suppose if you get a set of these wireless AirPods, what they call them, the earphones, they're wireless. You get a set of these, well, then you'll be able to charge and listen to the phone at the same time.
Don't they only have like an hour runtime or something?
Yeah, but you've got to charge... Nah, they're more than that. You've got to charge the headphones as well.
5 hours. I always, whatever Apple says, I always chop it in half.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's never 5 hours.
But now the AirPods look like, say, I don't know, say...
They look like just cut off.
Yeah, we got to describe it. People can't see you on the podcast.
Oh,
So,
they look like your standard Apple earphones you get now when you buy an iPhone 6.
Yeah.
Except that they're cut off about 3 centimeters down,
Yeah.
and it's got an aerial. It's a hard casing. It's got an aerial. It looks very neat and tidy. It looks, it's not a bad looking design. However, if you've got kids, forget about it.
yeah.
You leave them on the table, and suddenly little Johnny's choking.
But I reckon even just you jogging around the joint or just walking around, they fall out. And you just lose
How many
it.
times have I been out in the yard, like doing the leaves or whatever, and I'm listening to something. Now I can't do that now because they always fall out, and you think you put them back in because you get sweaty and it slips out and whatnot.
Yeah.
How's this going to stay in?
Well,
Then I'll lose it. Something goes over the top of it. Oh, there's that. Back down to Apple for another $155.
Well, it's
No
not-
thanks.
that's not that must be the US price because Australian is $229. So,
Oh, you're joking.
no, I'm not joking.
You're joking.
$229 for the AirPods.
So you've just paid what, $2,000 for a phone and another $250 for a headset.
yeah.
Sorry, I'll buy a laptop.
Look, it's getting a bit ridiculous. Look, I'll just quickly go through the rest of this so we can get off this subject before everyone's heads explode. Now, new iPhones will be supplied with EarPods, which is normal earphones, and an adapter to convert the Lightning connector to the traditional 3.5mm one. They'd be sold separately for $45 for the EarPods and $12 for the connector if you want to buy it separately. We went through the finishes. And also there'll be Super Mario game is coming to the iPhone, which everyone went on about for 20 minutes.
Oh, how long did they go on about the games and this is what it can do? I just kept fast forwarding. It was rubbish.
Yeah,
It was probably the worst thing I've ever watched.
I think look, the iPhone look it all makes it sound all real big and nice, and it's faster, and it makes you think, oh geez, my iPhone 6S, I've got to go out and buy an iPhone 7 to keep up. But yeah, when you weigh it all up and you have a look at it in the cold light of day, I don't know. I don't really know. If you're on when would you buy one of these? If you're on a 5, would you go to a 7?
No, if I was on a 5, I'd go to the 6S.
You're going to swerve the 7, or it doesn't matter what you got?
No,
Yep.
not touching it. I'm on the 6 now. I don't even have the 6S. I'm 2 years up. My contract is actually over, and I've already switched carriers from Telstra because I need it when I go away at the end of the year for the roaming, charges, which I think I explained to you a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it's on month to month. So when I get back, I'll just go back to Telstra.
Do you have problems with battery life on that thing?
No, not really.
Because I watched the keynote. My phone charged overnight to 100%. I watched like 40 minutes of the keynote and took and looked at my battery, and it was down to like 60%.
On your phone?
Yeah.
The Wi-Fi or over the 3G or 4G?
Wi-Fi. Does that
So
it
maybe.
seems to be chewing through my phone. I just don't understand.
The latest update, 9.35.
I've got to really be charging twice a day, like
How
overnight.
old's your phone?
I've
Well,
noticed.
it's a 6S.
Oh, yours is a 6S. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that old. Right. I noticed with that I think it was a week or two ago they put in that emergency release because there was a security hole.
Yep.
Right. So they brought in 9.35. Ever since then, my battery life has been shit.
Well, mine's been pretty rubbish, so I don't know what's going on. But
I
anyway,
actually
that's
get a lot of people with the 6S coming to work for new batteries. It's possible they just had bad batteries because I would sell 6S would be my biggest seller, and then the S4 would be my next biggest seller.
so. Even though
Right.
so Apple don't warranty batteries. Like, say if I went into
Only
my,
for the first 12 months.
No, they do. You can bring it in and say, this is rubbish, mate. I charged it this morning and I've made no calls, and just getting here, it's down 10%.
they'll warrant it under the life. So if you've got a 2-year contract, it'll be covered for the life of the
Yeah, it'll be
contract.
covered. Take it back.
Yeah, I might have to because I'm really just not excited.
It doesn't need to be on a 2-year contract anymore. Under Australian consumer law, even if you bought the phone outright, you're still covered under the 2-year
Yeah, but it's the same. What I mean is it's the same. Like, it would be the same as if you're on a 2-year contract, like, because that's the expected life of the phone. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, well, I might go in and do that one day. Now, we'll get us off Apple, please.
all right. So what have we got here?
Would you,
On the same day that Apple announced whatever it announced, Sony has unveiled 2 new PlayStations, the Pro and the Slim. So basically, they've got cheaper versions of their PlayStation 4, and as well as a Pro device targeted at hardcore gamers. They basically, it's been a while since they've released anything, but they've got the new energy-efficient PS4, which replaced the current model. It costs $300 US, down from $350. Going on sale on September 15th. And the PlayStation Pro will cost US $400 and go on sale November 10th. The Australian pricing roughly is going to be about, if it's $300 in the States, it's going to be about $600, $550, something like that here. The PlayStation Pro is going to offer 4K gaming instead of the standard 720, which I think it releases. I don't even think it does. Oh, maybe it does 1080. I can't remember. But it'll do 4K.
Yeah, it's
which will be running.
Yeah,
it'll hooked up through the HDR, which will make it all look much more immersive and things like that. It's going to do It's going to be slightly more powerful, so some of the more intense games are going to run a little bit better. Some of the less optimized ones, things like that. It's a few bits and pieces, nothing major, but it's just something that isn't Apple related that happened on the same day, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
not a good day to release that because Apple sucks the oxygen out of the news cycle.
Something else I thought that was interesting that happened today that also went under the radar. Hackers infiltrate porn site Brazers, spilling details of 800,000 subscribers.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Watch out.
So, what was it? Had that thing a couple of weeks ago. Now a couple of years ago, we had that
Ashley Madison.
Yeah, Ashley Madison. Whatever it was. Yeah. So now we've got the same thing happening with Brazers. According to the Mirror, the porn website was infiltrated by hackers who stole the details of registered users worldwide. The online network consists of 31 hardcore pornography websites, which was founded in 2005. As I understand, the breach was made when attack targeted vulnerabilities in chat room software. So it's yeah, that's why I use the free sites. I don't ask for I mean, that's why you should be really
go back to magazines. Now that's the way to go.
They get stuck together and.
Okay, now look, just go back to your little Sony story there for 1 second. PlayStation. Sony normally releases the changes to PlayStation between major releases, but this will be the first time it will have 2 consoles on sale with significantly different graphics capabilities. Now, Sony's Andrew House, that's the name of a guy, Andrew House, he said, "We realised that for the very high discriminating gamer, there's always a desire for advancement, and they want it in this generation. Now, games displayed in 4K have like around 4 times as many pixels in each frame as the 1080p HD images. So it's like you go into JB Hi-Fi, you have a quick look at the 4K stuff. Geez, it's really nice, and the blacks are so black.
It is nice, but you know what's scary about the 4K? There's so much definition that no one's face is flawless anymore. Right, you see every little defect on 4K.
Yeah.
We were doing this 4K. I'm a lot uglier. Trust me.
Who isn't?
Look, as we're discussing this before the show, actually, and I'm still running a 720, HD 720, plasma, and I don't. Looking at what's available, I mean, okay, yes, there is slight differences, but when you're sitting across the other end of the lounge room with the lights on in the middle of the day, you're not going to notice a difference. No. If you want to be pedantic about it, okay, fine. And I mean, and that's what I was saying about the Sony. They've beefed up the specs a bit to handle the 4K Plus. Also, obviously, the old there was just some really badly optimized games that were always a bit jerky and a bit stuttery on the PlayStation anyway. Yeah. But as you said, it takes 4 times the processing. So the amount to actually, if you're watching it on a 4K TV, not only is the console doing 4 times the processing, the TV's doing the 4 times the processing to display it. So unless it's a really good 4K TV, it's actually going to make your experience worse because you're going to drop frames and you're going to notice the motion blur, which was a problem with the old TVs when they were only running at 30 and 40 hertz. They actually very noticeable horizontal motion blur.
What's a good hertz level for a TV to stop the blur?
Most people can see sort of, anything above about sort of 60 hertz, most people can't see. But to get a smooth non-blurring, you really need, 100 to 120 is the minimum you need to clear that up.
They're all running 100 these days anyway, aren't they? Minimum?
Well, they say they do, but see, a lot of it is vertical because vertical scrolling happens naturally in the way. See, we still address, but going back to when TVs were in the old days when they were cathode ray tubes, you had what they were called scan lines, which was the resolution of the screen. They were called scan lines at, let's say, an NTSC was 29.7 or something, and PAL was whatever it was. But the reason they called it that was how long it took the image, that's how many times a second the image would horizontally draw, drop a line, go back to the start, horizontally draw, drop a line, go back to the start. So it had to do this to the entire 360 by 480 rows, 240 by 360 rows. It had to do that, 29 times a second. And the part today, even though we have plasma and LCD, which doesn't require that technology, we can display an image simultaneously. But because that style has been around so long, monitors still insist on using exactly the same drawing refresh rates, which is kind of stupid, and they're only just figuring out now that that's not the way to do it. The best way to do it is to display every pixel at the same time. Which takes that blur out of it. But yeah, I mean, 4K. Look, I don't really.
Look, until you start getting some, look, I can tell the difference between you watch the footy or the cricket on Channel 9 standard def, and if it was on the high def at the same time, you turn it over, you go, oh, geez, that's a much crisper picture. Doesn't matter if it's on a 720 or a 1080 TV.
That's right. Because on normal standard Foxtel channels, they downgrade the signal to 360.
Yep, standard old TV.
Standard definition.
Which is actually why, if I go to my dad's place and watch Foxtel on his TV, it looks really good because he actually still has a 28-inch, whatever they were, 3x4 General Electric, bloody CRT TV. Yep.
Oh my God! He warms his hands up on it.
It has the manual VHF and the manual UHF tuner.
That in the Smithsonian.
Now tell me, Will, why?
The picture looks so much better because it's a softer, degraded picture. It looks really nice.
Now tell me why.
I agree.
On those old TVs with the turning knobs and stuff, the click channels, where did 5A come from? Why was there a 5A?
Because they could.
That's because it was subdivided and they had a battle axe block on one side.
Now, I want to look into this. I need to know the answer. It basically was...
Well, because when you had the UHF frequencies, which were actually schemed in, I think they were in 10 hertz when you actually adjusted the dial by hand, they could put any frequency between any other frequency because they weren't fixed frequencies.
Because I remember, when I was growing up, the ABC used to be on 5A, and then for some reason it would change to 5. Then for some reason it would change back to 5A. Yeah, or no, I couldn't pick up this in the 5A regional.
But that's what it was. Like a lot of channels had 2 or 3 different. They had towers pointing in different directions, and to avoid interference, they'd put them on different channels. So depending on which particular tower you were picking up, or which particular tower was stronger that day, because analog signals travel far differently than digital signals. Would depend on which particular frequency you picked up at that time. It was like I had an old AM alarm clock radio that I'd set for, listening to classic rock or whatever it was at 10 o'clock of the night when I got home. And occasionally I would pick up the local taxis when they were driving past because they just happened to be using the same frequency and they were a stronger frequency. So it's the same sort of principle. Whichever one's the strongest frequency will override and interfere with the lower one.
Now, just getting back to the PlayStation, the PS4 Pro, even though it's 4K, won't be able to play Blu-ray 4K DVDs. So
No.
some people are getting a bit
'Cause
crazy about that.
They didn't pay for the licensing.
Sony's,
Same as Xbox did the same thing.
No, but you can do it on the Xbox.
Yeah, you can buy the.
Oh.
The older Xbox,
Right.
you couldn't play DVDs on them because they didn't pay for the rights.
So the PS4 Pro is going to be released in November, and games will be compatible with the standard console. So the PS4 Pro is not intended. This is another guy from Sony, Mark Cerny. PS4 Pro is not intended to blur the lines between console generations. Okay, we sort of touched on that before.
Yeah.
Sony is currently thought to be leading the console race. So they've come out and said in May it sold 40 million PS4s. Microsoft has said it's sold 10 million Xbox Ones. So and Xbox, they've stopped. They've stopped. This is in 2014. Microsoft has stopped reporting its sales figures.
Yeah, funny that.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Because they suck.
Well, there's that.
Well, yeah.
They're scaring off their investors. But I mean, that's one thing I've always preferred I've always liked with the PlayStation range. They're always backwards compatible, and it's only the very most recent one that you can't play the original games, but you can still go back to the previous PlayStation. You can play all the variations. So
Microsoft, Eric, would be a public company.
It would be.
So why wouldn't they be required to divulge sales figures? Wouldn't that be?
There's no compulsion to divulge internal divisional splits.
you only need to do a profit and loss effectively.
You say, well, it's all aggregated. Apple does it.
Yeah.
Usually the figures that any company will not release are the ones for the products that aren't doing the best, because they don't want to spook the market.
Well, I'll tell you.
Say, oh well, look, our Xbox division's lost. It loses $1 billion a year and has for the last 15 years. People would dump the stock tomorrow.
Yeah.
But if they aggregate it all together, say, oh look, these are our total profit and loss figures, and look at the massive profit we've made. Everyone goes, yeah.
If we include the games and the controllers and the other software and the other hardware accessories and the cables and the...
All companies do it. The worst performing division or product, they always hold it back. Apple do it, Microsoft do it, they all do it. But see, Microsoft a couple of years ago actually admitted that that's why they do it, because we don't need to divulge, because it's a heavy R&D division, and we don't want people to be spooked by how much money we spend on developing our games and our tables, folded bloody screens, and wearables and all this sort of stuff.
Can you?
So we aggregate it. Apple deny it. They say, oh no reason. We just think that it's good policy. Come clean, idiots.
Surprisingly, Tim Cook, he didn't like the decision that the European Union made about the tax.
Well, of course he didn't.
He's come out and gone crazy.
Well, I read a little tweet earlier that said, some price from the US, $155 for earpods. Apple's workers get paid $134 a fortnight. Plus, they won't pay their $13 tax bill. Cool. So he's taking a dig. Look at it that way.
Yeah. So I was going to ask Will. I was going to ask you, Will, the PlayStation, is that still free to join the PlayStation world or whatever, the online?
I haven't been there for ages. As far as I know, but I haven't.
It's been a long time since I've been on it.
Yeah, because I think
I don't even have. I got rid of my PS2 the other day because it finally stopped working. So you're asking the wrong person about the new stuff.
Okay, not that I care anyway. I got an Xbox, so I pay $80 a year for the.
I had an Xbox, but I decided to sell it unopened because it came directly from the conference, and I won it for free anyway. And it was.
You got a good price.
You remember that?
Yeah, you got a good price for that from memory, didn't you?
Yeah, I actually got, ironically, because it came from the conference that we go to every year. It was actually basically given to me more or less the day of release. So I pretty much got full retail for this, or actually more because they weren't available.
And then, look, speaking of conferences, there's a conference in Sydney that I'm going to. I've opened my wallet. I've booked the plane. So I'm going. It's the OzPod 2016 Australian Podcast Conference.
Held by the Communist Party.
The Chinese. That's held by the ABC.
Oh, the ABC.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yeah, so look, I think I
You're not
found,
going now, Glenn.
I found out late from that this was on, so I only just scraped in. But I'm pretty sure the registrations have closed. But look, if you're interested in going, just hit the ABC up. What's the address? It's abc.net.au/radio.
It's Rock on One Way, Beijing. Is there?
So it's abc.net.au/radio/Oz OzPod 2016. And that'll get you there. Or send me an email if you can't find it. But yeah, look, it's going to be good. It's on the 30th of September, Friday, all day little thing. So yeah, maybe if you're going,
as long as they don't start promoting left-wing podcasts, you'll be all right.
I'm gonna come back a changed man. I'm gonna come back rooting for Sam.
And red undies.
Okay. Now, Will, are you across the Samsung recall?
Look, vaguely, the last I read, Samsung said if you've got a Note 7, bring it back because 2 have caught fire in Australia.
I didn't think any of it there wasn't any in Australia. I read. But,
well, according to the latest one I read today, there's been 2 cases in Australia.
Right.
But I'm still skeptical. There's something funky going on. I don't think it's the phones. I think it's either a bad batch of batteries or it's a bad batch of chargers.
I think you're right, Will, because it's not happening to everybody. If it was the phone, it'd be happening. Right. ISIS would be onto this if it was the phone. Because they just give them out to everyone and they just explode.
So I think I'm tempted to say it's a bad batch of batteries, to be honest. Look, they'll sort it out. They'll send them out. And if you've got one, you can either return it and get another one sent back to you, or you can get a full refund. Either way, look, don't freak out. The only 2 cases I've read about. Well, I've read about 3 or 4 cases, and every single one of them has done the wrong thing anyway. Like they've left it on charge for like 2 days, or they've left it under their pillow to charge, or they've used an aftermarket car charger or something. So I haven't read about any of them that they've like literally plugged it in and it's exploded like the media makes out. That's not a thing.
Can't you?
The media always twist it for a good story.
Can't you charge them under your pillow?
Well, look, I'm sure it's happening, but there's probably
you can charge them under your pillow.
Yeah,
you can charge them under your pillow, but I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, sometimes I charge mine under my pillow while I listen to something. Yeah. It does get hot.
I mean, that's great if you want a heater, but if you want a phone, it's not a good idea.
It does put out some heat.
If you don't wake up with 2 heads, probably shouldn't do it.
But look, it's a serious issue. Samsung's recalling 51,000 of them. So it's a Galaxy Note 7. Hey, Galaxy Note 7. Yeah, due to a fire risk. The smartphone, yeah, so blah, blah, blah.
Today,
released
a media release saying that they are prohibiting passengers from charging new Note 7s on all flights.
No, Samsung's across the board. A friend of mine just got back from Sydney and they flew back and they're telling me the other day he went to plug his Samsung to charge it on the armrest charger and they went crook him. Said, no, it's a Samsung, you can't charge it. He's like, what? I said, they exploded. I said, no, you idiots. It's only no, it's a full mobile phone ban across the board. Now. You can't charge your phone at all.
I was gonna say something to insult hostesses then, so I'll hold back. I won't mention it. I will not say their intelligence.
It's an airline ban. They're just banning phones from being charged. That's it. You can't charge your phone now.
They're going to start banning Apple now.
Lucky I've got an iPhone.
You're not charging that here. That's a ridiculous phone.
Yeah, you can't charge that because you're an idiot for buying it.
Exactly.
Now,
but look, I think there is genuine concern there because it is a potential issue. The people who have had problems, there's been something sus about it. But look, I wouldn't freak out about it and worry about the thing exploding in your face. They don't do that. That's not something that they do. Especially if you're vigilant, you can tell what's going to happen before it happens. But
you can, if you're worried, just ring up Samsung. Look.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're quite welcome to take your phone back to whoever you got, whichever provider or plan or whatever you're on. Take it back, and they'll give you a choice. You can either get a full refund, 100%, no questions asked. Start from scratch with a new plan or new phone, or you can say send me one of the new ones. And apparently, there's only like a 7 or 9 day waiting list, and the new phones will be ready to be rolled out. So, I'm guessing purely based on the way it's happening and the situation surrounding, I'm guessing it's a battery fault, and I'm guessing it's very, very restricted to one particular batch of batteries. And I would bet that Samsung's already on top of that, because the last couple of phones that Samsung have released have had not as good a quality batteries as they had previously, because they've outsourced their batteries. Samsung used to make really good, they still make really good lithium, like 18650 cells, but they've stopped making the polymer cells that go into the phones, and they've outsourced that. I have a sneaking suspicion they're going to go back to making them again after this incident.
Well, I wouldn't blame them. The 51,000 of them they've got to recall. That's
a lot of phones.
It's not like they're going to chuck them in the bin. They're going to recall them, change the batteries out, and send them back out again.
Yeah,
they'll be selling them as refurbished, wouldn't they?
They'll probably even sell them as new, because once they've gone back to the factory, they've gone back through their QC and they sticker them back up and clean them up. They're going to be sold as new phone, I'd say.
All right. What else have you got, Will?
Okay. Speaking of, stupid things. YouTube has decided to. Okay, there's been a policy in place for a while with YouTube that if your video is not advertisement friendly, in other words, if an advertiser wouldn't be happy with putting an advertisement on your ad, then they'll demonetize it. Now that could be anything from swearing, having
probably
could be anything from swearing to having risky content to having strong political views or anything like that. There's a big list of things, do's and don'ts, to be monetized.
So basically, freedom of speech you can't have.
Yeah, but it's basically anything that, because they look at it from the advertiser's point of view and saying, would an advertiser want to put their ad on this video? If the answer is no, then they pull your monetization. Now,
depends on the advertiser. If I was a right-wing political commentator, then News Corp might want to jump on board.
Yeah, but so what's happened is YouTube's sort of generally been pretty lax about enforcing it, and they're like, yeah, look, these rules are here, but unless somebody complains, we're not going to worry about it. What they've done is they've obviously changed some scripting in their bots. Their bots have got psycho about demonetizing videos. And what's happening is some people are getting announcements and some people aren't about their videos being demonetized. And I'll actually switch over my screen here and you can see, I'll use my videos as an example. When you go to your account and you go into your Creator Studio, you can click on your Videos tab. I don't know how else it's coming out, but you can click on your Videos tab and you can go view and you can search by monetized or not monetized. If you click on not monetized, it brings up the list of ones that aren't monetized. Now, I had about 20. I've been through and appealed the process and they've been put back on, except one I was about to show you how to do it now. So I've got one left and it's no longer monetized.
So you've gone. They've pinged you for not suitable for monetization.
All my talkback texts and all my Androids all got done. No reason, but because the way these bots work is they don't give you a reason. They just demonetize it and they don't tell you. What you can do is you can do an appeal, and in the appeal say I've met all the guidelines. You click the appeal, and as far as I'm aware, almost every YouTuber and every person I've read about in this situation gets their videos reinstated. So it sounds like the bot is just overly aggressive at this point. But yeah, so you can click on the video, you click on the monetization, click on the appeal button and reinstate it. Not a problem. What's really annoying the people about this, the YouTubers, is that if you're a popular YouTuber, you've got, anywhere from probably a decent enough subscriber base to start making a living from YouTube is about 10,000. So if you've got 10,000 subscribers or more, the first 24 hours your video goes up is when you have the most hits and when you make the most money from it. The problem is the way it works is when you put your video up straight away, it's monetized. But in that 24-hour period, at some point, if it gets demonetized, they take all the revenue off that video that you've previously earned. So
the ads
That's stealing.
So the ads are still going on, but you're not getting the money.
That's right. So the ads are still being played but now what they've done is you're getting ads on your video, and the advertisers are still paying to get the ads, but your video is no longer monetized, so you're not getting the revenue from those ads. So, and from a viewer's point of view, as far as they're concerned, they're still supporting you by watching the ads.
Does the little bot send you an email if it finds a video it doesn't like?
Supposedly, it's been sending out emails. Now, I didn't get one. I have no emails at all saying any of my videos have been demonetized, but I had, as I said, like 40 or 50 videos, maybe more than that. It'd be like 75 videos would demonetize.
So, did you say you just click them back to monetize, or have you got to...
You got to go back in, you've got to appeal a decision, click this video meets all the guidelines, and then within 24 hours, they repel it. Now, it's not a big deal in my case because all my videos are older than that 2 or 3 day critical window, so I'm going to lose a couple of cents, and not that I make any money on YouTube anyway, but in a situation where you've got, and some of my YouTubers I watch have complained about this, they said, look, 24 to 48 hours is our big window. That's when everything happens. When all our videos go up, when we upload a video, that's when all the majority of our views happen. If that 48-hour window, we're not getting the revenue from that video, then we might as well not put the video up because we're not making any money from that period of time. It drops off. The view count nosedives considerably after the 48 hours.
What's Google's motto? Wasn't it "Do no evil" or something?
Well,
That's
they're
evil.
not, and this is what got up the nose of a lot of people. According to YouTube, they released a statement saying that they're doing everything the same as they always have. They're just notifying creators about it now. We recently started rolling out an improved notification in Video Manager to make it clearer to creators when a video is demonetized due to its advertiser-friendly content concerns. We did not change our policy in demonetizing videos that may not be appropriate for Google brand advertisers, nor have we changed how we police these. Now, it's that last bit that's annoyed a lot of people because people have had videos on YouTube for years. We're talking since YouTube started. Yeah. There's some people who have had videos on there for, what are we talking, 10, 11 years, whatever it is now. And, 8 or 9 years, whatever it is. But they're now getting videos demonetized that for the last 8 years have sat there and been perfectly fine. So they're like, well, hang on. No, you have changed what you're doing. It's obvious that you've changed what you're doing. The worst part about it is, though, that they're not necessarily notifying you, or people have a mass bulk email from YouTube saying, hey, this video's been done, hey, this video's been done. And when they go back and look at when that video last earned money, it could be 12 months ago. YouTube's only just sending them the email now. Or the thing is slack. that why is that video now being flagged that has been perfectly fine previously? It's just really upsetting a lot of people. It's really, really pissed off some of the major... I mean, people like as much as I can't stand the guy, PewDiePie, for example, I hate everything he stands for, hate everything he does, hate his subscribers, hate everything about it. But he's got, whatever he's got now, 20 million subscribers or something.
Jeez.
And the thing is, for him, given that he literally does YouTube 12 hours a day or whatever the hell he does.
Yeah.
He's got 3,000 videos on YouTube. Now, for him to go through, and some of those weren't monetized to start with, which is fine because he didn't want them monetized for whatever reason. They're too short or they're not worth it or they just update videos or something like that.
Yep.
So not all his videos are monetized. So when he goes to his video, there you go, 48. He's just got 48 million subscribers anyway.
I was just looking at the video that he's got. One of the videos he's highlighted on his page here, Pokemon Go, Going Too Far. It's been up for a month. It's got 16,600,000 views so far.
Yeah, I mean, some of his videos have got one of his videos, 74 million, one's 62 million, one's 45 million. So he's got lots in tens of millions of views. Now, obviously, we all know he makes a buttload of money from doing this. He was on YouTube right from the start. He was in the right place, right time. But you got to think for someone like him who does have, let's say he's got, I don't know how many videos he's actually got up on YouTube. He's got nearly 10,000 videos, I think.
I'm on the site now. Let's have a look. He's got, where does it say? Videos. Doesn't say how many. But he's got a few.
I did say somewhere I saw it. But let's say he's got 10,000 videos, and let's say 1,000 of those are non-monetized normally. So if he goes and clicks on show me my unmonetized ones. He's got to scroll through 1,000 videos just to get to the point to see whether or not any of his videos have been flagged, which in his case they actually had, sometimes for different reasons, and sometimes he deserved it, for whatever reason. But it's like, well,
yeah.
How can YouTube say that they haven't changed anything, they haven't done anything, they haven't upset anybody, they haven't made anything happen that hasn't normally happened, when even their largest YouTuber is complaining about the policies that they've just implemented?
So what would happen if say, PewDiePie took his pie and took it to somewhere else, Daily Motion or something? Do you think that
Daily Motion or something like that?
Would that work
you've
for
got
him?
to think. Let's say he's got 48 million subscribers. His average videos, let's have a quick look here, see if I can date. I'll go to date added newest. So let's see. So within the first week. So it's a video that's a week old. So within the first week, it looks like he averages around 4 to 5 million views a week on a rough calculation.
Oh, I don't know.
So
I'm looking at that here. He's got 19 hours ago, 1.8 million. 1 day ago, 3.47 million. 2 days ago.
I mean, some of them are higher, but you go back and you look a week ago and 2 weeks ago, they're about 4,000 for a week, about 8,000 for 2 weeks. So it's roughly 4 million. It's roughly 4 million a week. Given, obviously, there's exceptions to that, but if we work it out based on that, you think this guy's got 4 million eyes per week on his videos.
Advertisers want to be on the video.
Advertisers want to watch every so.
Does it matter?
4 million divided by 7 divided by 24 divided by 60. So every hour is 400. So he's nearly he's a view a minute, more or less.
Yeah.
So every minute an advertiser is making every minute he's making money from an advertiser, but every minute an advertiser is paying YouTube to have a video on his channel. So if he goes, well, screw you, I'm closing down my account here and I'm going somewhere else, just that one YouTuber is going to have a massive impact on that content.
Yeah, he's got to have the balls to do it, though, hasn't he? Really?
Well, he's in a position now where he makes more money than he can spend in his lifetime. So it's not really a big deal for him to go, right, that's it, I'm closing my account, see ya, and get out of here. He's already pulled his Twitter account because Twitter gave him the shits.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And he closed his Twitter account because he was playing a joke on his subscriber and Twitter didn't appreciate it, so they shut his account down.
They're getting too touchy too, aren't they, Twitter? They're a bit touchy these
They're
days.
left-wing wankers.
I've heard of a
no
few
sense of
people
humour.
who have lost. I've heard a few people who have lost their Twitter accounts recently. Just randomly, Twitter's sent them a thing saying,
that's all right. Everyone knows that Twitter is the sewer of the internet.
Yeah.
Isn't that MySpace?
No,
but that's the
septic tank.
MySpace is the septic tank, but now we're past Roman times and we have sewerage now. That'd be Twitter.
What would you call Facebook? Would you give it
I would call that the train station public toilet.
Internet.
But I'm just curious.
With the aluminium seat and the aluminium
That's
bowl.
right.
Yeah. God,
That's the one.
I would never ever sit on one of those things ever. I would do
Especially
it on the
winter in
floor
Snowfield.
next to it before I sat on one of those.
You know what's really, just to show you the disproportionate figures between, PewDiePie on Facebook has 39,000 followers, and his average post, I'm just quickly flicking through his page, looks like his average post gets about 300 likes. So
he's YouTube.
look at that disparity between YouTube and Facebook. Effectively the same medium. Effectively they both have the same delivery content. He could put the videos on Facebook the same as he could put them on YouTube. But look at his audience. Look at the
so
massive drop there.
Yeah. Well, let's get off PewDiePie. I'm going to go and have a watch a video. I've never watched one, so I
Just
guess
don't.
by looking at it, it looks painful, but I want to get some pain going, so I might have a look at
His
that later.
early videos, like when he first started back in the day when YouTube was a new thing, his early videos are actually bearable. And then that went downhill from there.
Right. Well, have you got any more, Will? Because we go through them fast if you have.
Well, yeah, okay. So, just in case NBN didn't get complicated enough, Foxtel now confirms it's offering NBN as of next month. Foxtel will become an NBN retail service provider in October, with the pay TV CEO announcing that ADSL customers will be shifted over to NBN services once they are eligible. So basically, Foxtel Platinum customers can now receive unlimited broadband and standard national phone calls for only an additional $75 a month on top of their existing $85 a month Foxtel service.
Just to go back to Telstra for a minute, so then we're talking about it loosely. Well, I think it's such bad service again from these guys, because I go out to people's places and they say because their internet is slow or something, and so or whatever. So I go out there and I go, oh yeah, ADSL. I'm thinking, why aren't you on cable? And they, oh well, we just went to Telstra or rang them up the other day, and this is what we got. I said, but you're in a cable area, and so and you do the internet search, and they go, yeah, you can get cable. You ring them up, yeah, you can get cable. Why, when people ring up and ask for the internet, why does Telstra sell them something that's 2 meg per second when with a little bit of knowledge,
if people don't know that they can get cable, they're not going to ask for it, and they're not going to expect it, and they can make their cable seem faster because there's not as many people on it.
You put them on a crap product, they overpay for a substandard service that nobody uses, and they don't clog up the cable network.
Because the cable costs the same as the ADSL.
That's right.
I think
it costs the same as what the NBN's going to cost.
You should be happy, Glenn. Less people on the cable, the better.
Well, I am in that regard, but I'm just saying it's just so poor, isn't it? Really, it's poor. Yep. It's just so poor.
It's okay now because data retention. Telstra now gets $40 million, Vodafone gets $29 million, Optus gets $14 million, and the NBN gets $1 million. ISPs have been given 80% of their compliance costs, according to the Attorney General, under the government's new $128 million data retention grants program. You know that one that last year when they introduced and said, this won't cost us anything, it'll be easy for the providers to do and nothing will have to be spent?
Yep.
Yeah, that one is now $128 million per year to support the companies so that they can do it.
Show us your diary. Now,
yeah, sure, exactly.
Yeah. Now, look, I've got one more, and then Will can do another couple of quickies. But this one I just wanted to bring up. It was this guy J.K. Scheinberg. I don't know if anyone has ever known who he is or whatever. But anyway, what he's famous for in Apple history. Jesus, it's Apple love tonight from this end anyway. He's famous in Apple history for getting Mac OS running on Intel computers. He retired from the company in 2008, but
Hackintosh.
But he was just hanging around the house doing nothing. So he thought, well, I'll go and get a job at Apple. So he walked down to the Apple store. He thought, I'll get a job at the Genius Bar, but he was confronted with a bit of a don't call us, we'll call you scenario. So
because the people at the Apple Genius Bar are geniuses.
Well, that's right. But this whole article came around. It was in the the Wall Street Journal, I think it was, and the whole thing came around because they did an article on ageism, and they're saying because he went in to be a genius, he was 50, 58, 61 or something, and they all reckon that he got pinged because he was too old. But here's a guy, obviously needed to be there. Well, had probably more credentials to be there, maybe overqualified, you could say. I don't know. But anyway, you didn't get the gig. So,
well, if you're only 21-year-olds with nose piercings, hipster attitudes, deconstructed copy, need apply.
Well, right,
speaking of Apple, just quickly before I get to my last story, I just struck my attention. There's two things in the story that I find hilarious. Firstly, that Apple doesn't actually tweet, yet they have 490,000 followers on their Twitter account, but they've never actually sent a tweet until this morning when they sent a tweet before the Steve, before CEO Tim Cook had a chance to take the stage and tell the audience all about the new phone.
They tweeted the new phone before
They
the
tweeted the new phone, the pictures, and the specs before he was even on stage.
Well,
everybody got a
fired.
New cameras, water-resistant stereo speakers, longer battery life. This is 7. Learn more with a link to click on it to go to the new website. It has now been taken down. However, they kind of...
Yeah, sorry, I was going to say, do you reckon that Apple, the Twitter address is twitter.com/Apple. Do you reckon they paid to get that? Surely someone would have had that first. You know, like...
because major corporation Twitter accounts were held back for the corporations.
Oh, okay, right. Oh,
yeah, that's why. Yeah, that was actually a thing they did back. The same as Facebook, same as the major Facebook accounts, which brings us on to the next story. But yeah, I just find that hilarious. 490,000 followers, no tweet ever in the history of Apple, except the one half an hour before he gets onto stage to reveal everything he's about to reveal when he gets on stage.
And it's got 517,000.
Well done,
Apple.
Whoever's in charge of that no longer has a job. Although Android will welcome them open-handedly.
But what about iTunes? Let's have a look at iTunes. It's got a Twitter account. Let's see if it's tweets. It retweets.
Yeah, iTunes does, but the Apple doesn't.
What about the App Store? Here we go.
But that just reminded me. Talking about Facebook, I just need to remind people: if Bunnings Warehouse is having a massive giveaway sale with 12 minutes to walk through the store and grab everything you want, chances are they're not. Especially when the the Warehouse account isn't certified, and if you click on it, has no information about the store at all.
Oh, same as JBI-Fi. That's been going around too.
Exactly, and I just don't understand why people... And it's the same with, MacBooks and Galaxy tabs and Windows this and, Maserati that and Lamborghini. They are not going to give you a free car because you like their page. Stop it. Stop filling my wall with your crap.
Wake up.
Hey, wake up, Australia.
It's not my fault. Idiot. You're stupid. And it's the same as the things like, when was it the other day? Somebody on my wall saying that Michael J. Fox is dead. He died from Parkinson's. There's this thing called Google. So if something comes up on Facebook and, you're not 100% certain about it, you can go to google.com and you can actually... Yeah, that's right. Yeah, .com, and you can actually type in, is Michael J. Fox dead? And it will say the number one listing, no, this is a spoof on Facebook or a scam on Facebook. Seriously, people, it's not rocket science. If you have a lot of big businesses, whether, we talked before, Bunnings or JB Hi-Fi or, any of these places, they all are certified by Facebook. They've all got the blue tick next to their name. If they don't have the blue tick next to their name, they're not the company they say they are. And it's really getting annoying. And I'm sick of having to tell people, stop sharing this because it's not true. And then people get upset because they're not going to win a $47,000 luxury yacht with a house in the Himalayas.
But, it's getting to the stage, look, it's one of these markers in the sand, I reckon. You haven't made it till you've had a death hoax. That's what it's coming down to.
That's right, exactly.
William Tompkinson... Who? Has he had a death hoax? No. Oh, nobody. But Michael J. Fox had a death hoax? Yeah. Ah, he must be somebody.
So did Elvis Presley. Apparently he's still alive.
Oh, so is Michael Jackson. You seen his daughter takes a selfie in the car and everyone's going, look, in the back seat, Michael Jackson.
Looks like a gollywog in the back. Doesn't even look human.
It looks all drawn in to me. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But you haven't made it till you've had a death hoax, so, keep trying. Keep trying.
Yeah, look, it's just, at this point I'm going to have to say sorry to the stream because Facebook just decided that we've had enough and it's going to boot us off because, it's Facebook.
Well done, Facebook.
So it was good timing. But yeah, look, it's because we're backing out Facebook. They went, no, screw you, you're not having a live stream tonight.
Probably. Can you restart it? Restart it for the Android? No. Oh, you got to get a new key and everything.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's
But so basically, look, the short answer is, the short part about my rant is, look, if something comes up on Facebook, do everybody a favour first and try and authenticate it. If you can't authenticate it, put it up on Facebook and say, hey, I just received this. Is this something that's real or is this something I should just ignore? It's kind of along the lines of when a telemarketer rings you and says, hey, your computer's got a virus, we're going to help you fix it. Don't say yes. That ends badly.
Yeah. Look, there's a...
Agreed.
I've just come across a site here. Actors and actresses. Who's alive and who's dead.com. So, so I'll show you. Hang on.
Are we talking real life or career? Because they're two entirely different things.
Well, Malcolm Turnbull's name will be on that.
Who? Yeah. Well, let's have a look.
Turnbull.
Okay, we've got actors and actresses. Okay, let's click on that. Let's see if the Michael J. Fox made it to the... Oh, jeez, it goes in. What show name? Oh, alphabetical quick look. Let's go for Michael J. Fox. Michael Yo-Yo Ma.
Guys.
Michael J. Look, let's go under F. Obviously going for surnames. Let's see how good this is. Oh, look, if you are dead, you got a nice little headstone in next to your name. So Fox. There's no Fox. Phil Foster, Pete Fountain.
That's because he's dead.
Oh, look, even if you're 80 or more, you get a nice little 80 plus next to your name. Jamie Fox, still alive. Michael J. Fox, still alive. Yeah, this site's the way to go. Who's WHOS? Who's alive and who's dead.com.
It's a nice name that just rolls off the tongue.
That is Ella Fitzgerald, dead. Larry Fine, meh. Yeah, Bob Fella, meh.
Malcolm Turnbull.
Or you can just go to wa-wd.com.
Athletes and sport figures, political figures. Here we go, Eric. We'll look him up for you.
They'd be American. And it's America, so nothing else. Yeah, political figures. US presidents, cabinet, Congress, Supreme Court, state and local world.
First ladies.
State and local world. Yeah, it's American.
Yeah,
you can tell.
Anyway, let's get out of here. Have you finished, Will?
Look, if I keep going, I'm going to get nasty emails. So yeah, I better shut up.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, we better end because we've gone way over time. I think PewDiePie put us off track.
We never do that. What are you talking about?
And the Apple. Oh my God. Yeah, not much. Look, sorry about all the Apple love this week, but there's nothing else.
We promise it won't happen again this time next year.
Yeah, there's nothing going on. There was just nothing else going on. All right, so...
And if you do buy one, can you do a review on it and send it to us so we can laugh at you? I mean, so we can see what it's really like.
All these people who refuse to believe the stupidity, stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
Or drink more of it, one of the two.
All right,
exactly.
So follow us on the facebook.com/Aussie Tech Heads and youtube.com/Aussie Tech Heads and wherever else you can find us. Facebook. Oh, I said Facebook. Wherever else. You know. You just pick us up.
You know,
Google us.
We got that radio station thing. We got that website thing.
That's right. Got all that sort of stuff going on. So, all right. So, until next week, hopefully there's some more news rather than Apple and PewDiePie. So, see you, Eric. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, mate.
Good luck with your exams.
Bye, Will.
Thanks, Will. Good luck with the move.
Thanks,
when are you
mate.
moving?
See you
2 weeks?
guys.
Yep. All right. Okay. We'll see you next week, everyone. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.